Hello and welcome to Run Testers. My name's Nick and this is our first look at the Kiprun Kipstorm Lab. The Kipstom Lab is a new racing shoe from Decathlon. It sits at the top of their range of carbon plate racing shoes. It was formerly known as the KD900X Lab, I think, but is now known as the Kipstom Lab. To separate it from the bunch, this is a pinnacle racing product which introduces some new innovative technology to their range. The Kipstom Lab has been used to great effect by Jimmy Gressier of late. You may well have seen him setting some kind of record in it, and it has the highest price of any Decathlon shoe so far. It will cost you £240 or €300. US price is not confirmed yet, or indeed the potential availability of the shoe in the US. It's extremely lightweight. In my UK 8.5, which is a US 9.5, it weighs in at 174 grams or 6.1 ounces. That's an EU 43. You've got a stack height of 39mm at the heel, 35 at the forefoot for a 4mm drop. Look at the design of the shoe. The upper is a very lightweight and thin material. It's got quite a plasticky feel to it, so it retains its structure quite well. Got a very pliable heel design on the shoe, which will be interesting in terms of fit, because we have had some problems with the fit of Decathlon shoes in the past. You've got these very thin round laces. Everything is obviously very lightweight on top, whilst aiming to provide a secure fit for running fast. In the midsole, you've got a lot going on. There are three main elements to the setup of the shoe. There's two foams and a carbon plate. And we'll start with the plate because it's quite interesting in that it's a full length plate, but it's not a full plate, if you will. It's a J-shaped plate. So at the heel, you only have the plate running down the outside of the shoe all the way to the forefoot, where you have a fuller plate to complete the J and give you that more propulsive feel off your toes. So it does mean there's a little bit more flexibility and softness at the back of the shoe because the plate isn't covering the medial side there. Then you've got two foams in the midsole. You've got a frame of a nitrogen-infused TPU material that surrounds a very bouncy PIBA core, which is called Feather Bounce. It's the really lightweight, springy material in the midsole, surrounded by what is still a very responsive and lightweight material itself. So quite an interesting setup, a little bit different to what we've seen from most carbon shoes. So it will be interesting to see how it feels on the run. When it comes to the outsole, you've got decent rubber coverage on the forefoot and heel, quite a lot of exposed foam. It's not the thickest layer as you'd expect, but hopefully should have enough grip there without it adding too much weight to the shoe. So the Kipstom Lab actually arrived just after I ran the Loch Ness Marathon, so I've been staring at the shoe for the better part of 2.5 weeks, just itching to go out and run in it because it feels like a really exciting and fun shoe to get out. I'm finally doing my first session after the marathon today, and I'm going to be running 20 times 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So a very simple session. The idea is to kind of relax into it, not look at pace too closely, just try and run fast in those 60-second stints, take the 30 seconds off, nothing too adventurous. So it'll be interesting to see what pace comes out and how the shoe feels as I move through the gears a little bit in what will hopefully be a session that wakes up the legs, that doesn't feel too painful. But yeah, very excited to get out in the shoe. I've not loved the carbon plate shoes from Decathlon to date. I found often the uppers haven't fit that well. I haven't loved the ride of the most recent shoes either, and the price is kind of rising to the point where they don't seem like exceptional value, although I haven't tried yet the KD900.2, which is supposed to be fantastic value and a good shoe all round. But the Kipstom Lab certainly looks like a really exciting shoe, one that's aiming to go toe-to-toe with the best racers on the market, so can't wait to see how it feels. So back from the run now, and it was a good run. Really enjoyed getting out there and putting some speed into the legs again. Ran it really to feel and looked at the stats afterwards and was hitting pretty consistent paces throughout each of those reps. Heart rate was quite high today. I think I sometimes have that when I come back from marathon. My legs felt pretty good and I felt quite relaxed on the reps, but my heart rate was high throughout at the first shock of trying to run quick again. So I was running, I think, somewhere around 3:10, 3:15 a K pace for most of those reps, and then taking a nice slow jog in the recoveries. And the shoe felt really light, really lively. I really enjoyed running in this shoe today. Like, it has a nice ride to it. Like, it's got a slightly firmer feel. It felt a bit firmer actually in the warm-up than it did when I actually started running properly. It came to life really when I did start running fast in the shoe, which happens with lots of carbon plate shoes. A little bit more squish and a load of bounce and just a really fast transition. It felt very, very light and nippy in how quickly it pushed you from the heel onto the forefoot, and then you've got a nice amount of explosive punch off the stack of foam at the front of the shoe there. Like, this is a really lightweight shoe, and it does facilitate that kind of high turnover style that I have. I am quite a high cadence runner, and I felt that at the start of each 60-second rep, the acceleration phase. But then in the middle of those reps, kind of the middle 100 meters, got a bit more cruisy, and I do think it's got a nice feeling there as well. Like, it doesn't just feel like lightweight shoe for really aggressive runs. Like, it does feel like you lock into a pace and can cruise through longer stuff. So, looking at events like 10k, half marathon, even 5k, when you want to basically try and dial into a pace and hold it, the shoe has got a really nice feel to it all round. And the fit was really good on the run today as well. Definitely the best upper I've come across in a Decathlon carbon plate racing shoe. And yeah, finished the run itching to get back out in it again. I definitely think this is a high quality carbon plate racing shoe with a really nice ride to it, actually. Yeah, it felt explosive, felt fast, but also felt like it's going to have that comfortable level of speed you get when you're looking at racing something like a 5k, 10k half marathon on the road. So when it comes to the fit of the Kipstorm Lab, I actually use centimetre sizing to get the right size. I've had a lot of problems with Decathlon sizing in the past. I'd always say definitely go half a size down as your starting point with Decathlon shoes, but even when I've done that with some of the racing shoes, I've had the wrong fit with just too much room around the toes. Some of the shoes I've had a problem as well with comfort around here. There's often like a plastic ridge there, which has been a bit unpleasant on the top of my foot near the base of the ankle. Sometimes you get heel rub from them as well. No concerns at all with the Kipstom Lab and any of those fronts. I'm delighted to say after running it today, it's a really comfortable upper. I even thought these laces are going to be a bit of a problem. They're actually not that kind to your fingers when you pull them tight because they are quite thin, but no lace bite at all on the top of my foot. And the upper held my foot very securely on fast running today without any kind of pressure points or rubbing or anything like that. This was concerning as well. I mean, the slightly pointed and sharp back end of the shoe there, but no, again, soft, pliable material, held the foot really securely and just had no problems. So we'll come to the exact sizing. So in general, I use a UK 9, which for most brands is a US 9.5 or a US 10. This is a UK 8.5, which is a US 9.5. So it's half a size down on my normal UK size. It's at the smaller end of my normal US size. But like I said, I use centimetre sizing. I'd probably recommend that with the Decathlon. You get a nice range of sizes here. I just went and found the centimetre sizing of a shoe I like the fit of a lot. And then I converted that on the Kiprun website to the correct size of this shoe. And I got a really good fit with enough room around the toes, but not too much space. And just, a really good hold around the heel and midfoot. So all round, the fit was very good for me in the Kipstom Lab. Bearing that in mind, going half size down on my UK size. So, just one run in to the Kiprun Kipstorm Lab. So obviously this is nothing definitive, this kind of verdict, but I do think Decathlon's got a really serious racing shoe on its hands here. I think I was cautiously optimistic going into the run, and now I'm just straight up optimistic and excited to go running in it again. I feel like it's just got a really lovely ride to run fast in. It's obviously got that very lightweight design, and it does have a lightning fast transition as well. And then there's still a big old wedge of foam under that forefoot to give you a nice chunky burst of speed and a bit of propulsive punch off there. Didn't notice much of a difference with a J-shaped carbon plate as opposed to a full carbon plate. It felt pretty similar at the heel to shoes, like the Asics Metaspeed Sky Tokyo, when you got, it's not the softest and squishiest shoe, that's for sure. It's not like something like the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2 or the Asics Metaspeed Ray, where you really feel the sink and then bounce. You don't feel that so much, or I didn't feel that so much with the Kiprun Kipstorm Lab today. It feels just more like a really nice, responsive poppy foam that gives you a lot of bounce back and energy return from the toes in particular, but it's not necessarily a big squishy shoe. I think it will still be pretty comfortable though. I will try some longer stuff in it starting with this weekend, but yeah, definitely a really good first run. I do think this is going to be a competitive carbon plate racing shoe. Obviously you are now getting it at the same price as the bulk of the carbon shoe market. For £240, €300, maybe in the UK it is probably actually the slightly cheaper end of the carbon shoe market, but I think Decathlon, Kiprun has come out and said this shoe is as good as everything else. We're going to price it in line with everything else, and I think after that first run that's fair to do so, because I was really impressed by the ride in it there. Really enjoyed that pretty short session in it, but looking forward to getting out and again and sustaining some speeds in it to try and lock into that kind of cruisy fast ride I felt at times and see how it feels over the course of longer reps and races. But yeah, good first run in the Kipstorm Lab. That's our first look at the Kiprun Kipstorm Lab. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Have you used any of Decathlon's racing shoes? What are your thoughts on them so far? Please do like and subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.